Hey folks, my name is Brian and welcome back to Politic Talks. I got a comment on my last video making a request that I talk about Newfoundland and Labrador politics because there's an election coming up in May here. So that's what I'm going to be talking about for this video. I'm going to be talking about the three major political parties in Newfoundland and Labrador. I'm also going to be talking about the difference between individual candidates as they relate to the party that they're running under. I also just want to underline a couple of things that people should be thinking about, in my opinion, before casting their vote in May. So let's get started. So in Newfoundland and Labrador, we have three major political parties. We have the Progressive Conservative Party, we have the Liberal Party, and we have the New Democratic Party, also known as the NDP. The way I evaluate the different parties in this province is in terms of their focus. I think it's fair to say that there are some overlapping policy positions across the board in terms of the different parties, but it's a matter of where the emphasis lies in each individual case. I'm going to start by analyzing the NDP situation and their policy platform. So in terms of the focus of the NDP, they seem to be more focused on issues related to income inequality and social justice issues. While the NDP recently took on a new leader, I think it's fair to say that we probably won't see a major change in direction in the party's platform. I think the social justice and income inequality issues will probably still be their driving force as a party for this election. On the other side of the political spectrum, we have the Progressive Conservative Party of Newfoundland and Labrador. The Progressive Conservatives have also had a change of leadership since their last election, but once again, I don't think that the new leader will drastically change the direction or the focus of the party. On the other side of the political spectrum, we have the Progressive Conservative Party of Newfoundland and Labrador. I think the important thing to talk about in terms of the Progressive Conservative Party is that they are different from the Federal Party, which is the Conservative Party of Canada. And I think that's an important distinction to make. The difference between the Progressive Conservative Party and the Conservative Party is, once again, a matter of focus. I think it's fair to say that the Progressive Conservative Party of Newfoundland and Labrador could be considered red Tories, and the Conservative Party of Canada, the Federal Party, would be considered blue Tories. The reason I think the difference between a red Tory and a blue Tory is significant is because blue Tories tend to be socially conservative and more focused on right-wing economic policies than red Tories. So in the case of the Progressive Conservative Party of Newfoundland and Labrador, they have more of a focus on social justice and left-wing ideas espoused by the NDP than the Federal Conservative Party of Canada would have. The third party in Newfoundland and Labrador is the Liberal Party of Canada, which currently forms the provincial government. According to the Constitution of the Liberal Party strives for a society in which every individual is valued under the law regardless of gender, race, ethnicity, religion, disability, or sexual orientation, and has an equal opportunity to reach their full potential. I think it's important to point out that the Constitution of the Progressive Conservative Party of Newfoundland does not have specific policy positions and ideas put forth in their constitution. The Constitution points out that the objective of the party is to form the government, but does not give any information about what the party actually stands for. Presumably, they intend to bring their platforms forward on a district-by-district basis. The website of the NDP states several different policy objectives that the NDP will be pursuing, primarily related to issues related to income inequality and access to healthcare. A frequent criticism of the NDP has been that although they are in favor of better childcare, better healthcare, issues related to income inequality, that they have no serious way of providing funding for the programs that they would like to implement, which would most likely mean higher taxes for the general population. Under the electoral system in Newfoundland and Labrador, we have a first-past-the-post system in which members of the general population vote for their representatives to be elected to the House of Assembly. What this means is it's entirely possible for a representative of the party to more directly represent the people that elected them as opposed to what their party wants to do. So it's not necessarily the case that if you vote for a member of the Liberal Party, they will, without question, push for the objectives outlined by their party. They are far more likely to listen to the people that elected them, particularly if they are more in the political center, in that they can fall under the left-wing or right-wing policy ideas, and there's a bit of wiggle room, so they can be more flexible in their voting. In short, what I'm trying to say is that the party under which an MHA is elected is not the be-all and end-all when determining how they will behave in the House of Assembly. As a hypothetical example, let's just say you are a right-wing member of society in a district which is represented by a member of the NDP, for example, which is a left-wing party. If there are enough right-wing members of that district, it's entirely possible that that member realizes that there is enough votes at risk that he may vote against the rest of his or her party on a specific issue. What I'm trying to say in a really roundabout way is that the party is not the only consideration that you should make when deciding whether or not to vote for a specific candidate in your riding. I'm going to talk briefly about political scandals, mainly because the Liberal Party under Dwight Ball has been receiving a lot of heat in recent months over the Muskrat Falls deal, as well as several members of the Liberal caucus that have received some bad press over bullying and harassment in the workplace. It's very easy, I'm referring specifically to the Muskrat Falls case here, it's very easy to sit in opposition and criticize the government. It's much harder to actually run a province or a country. Which is not to say that we should expect less than stellar performance from our elected officials, but keep in mind that it's not necessarily true that members of the opposition, if they are elected in this election, would manage the province any differently in most policy areas. Sometimes economic or social considerations determine the amount of actions that the government can possibly take. So just keep that in mind when considering the scandals that have been in the news lately regarding the Ball government. Anyway, guys, I think that's it for me on this one. This has been pretty general and pretty brief, and there are a lot more things I could talk about. If there's enough interest in this video, I can talk about some different issues in subsequent videos. If you've liked what you've heard, please like and feel free to subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.